Today we are going to take a look at actor Fred Berry, who you might remember as the lovable character Freddie Rerun Stubbs on the hit television show What's Happening. Fred was born on March 19, 1951 in St. Louis, Missouri. He began his entertainment career as a street performer and eventually worked his way up to becoming a professional dancer. In 1976, he landed the role of Rerun on What's Happening and quickly became a fan favorite for his comedic timing and dance moves. You know, there was just something about Fred's portrayal of Rerun that was so much fun. Rerun wasn't always the sharpest knife in the drawer, but he was kind and caring, and most importantly for any television sitcom during the 70s, he was funny. After What's Happening ended in 1979, Fred continued to act in various television shows and films, but for whatever reason, the offers really weren't all that plentiful for him. I do remember a guest appearance during the early 80s on Alice, but beyond that, I really can't say I remember seeing him in much until the mid-80s, when Fred returned to reprise his role as Rerun in the series What's Happening Now. Unfortunately, he was fired from that show even before the first season ended due to his insistence that he receive more money than the rest of the cast. Not the smartest move, but there was a lot going on behind the scenes. Around the same time as his firing, Fred's personal life was also plagued with a ton of issues, including struggles with drugs and alcohol, which ultimately led to an arrest for cocaine possession. Fred entered rehab shortly thereafter, and he later on opened up about his addiction and became an advocate for sobriety. In 1996, Fred said this to People magazine, "I was a millionaire by the time I was 29, but then the stress of success got to me, the fat jokes got to me, and I got heavily into drugs and alcohol." During the 90s, Fred continued to make guest appearances on television shows like Martin, In Living Color, and Scrubs. He also worked as a motivational speaker and a Baptist minister, inspiring others to overcome their own struggles with addiction and adversity. Fred even managed to shed 100 pounds, and for at least a little while, he really seemed to have turned a corner. And Fred was finding steady work, not on TV or in movies, but by making appearances as a pitchman for various companies where he would dress in Rerun's signature red beret and baggy pants and sell whatever products these companies would ask him to. In a 2002 interview with CNN's Serena Kapp, Fred seemed to really take pride in the fact that his career had moved to a corporate level. Having a steady income stream was very important to Fred because he had a family to take care of. He'd been married 6 times to 4 different women, and from those relationships, he'd become a father not once, not twice, but 3 times. That said, Fred didn't mind working, and he didn't mind that people seemed to only remember him as Rerun. During that same CNN interview, Fred said, "I'm still called Rerun, and I love it." He also added that people always wanted to see him dance no matter where he was, and he was always happy to oblige. Tragically, Fred passed away just a year after that interview in October of 2003 at the all-too-young age of 52 due to complications from a stroke. I remember reading an obituary at the time that alluded to the onset difficulties that Fred seemed to have that called him the Elizabeth Taylor of 70s sitcoms. And while that may be at least partially true, here's the deal. Fred loved playing Rerun. Even after he was fired from What's Happening Now, he continued to play a version of that character whenever he was given the chance. Despite all of his personal struggles, I will always remember Fred Berry as a talented entertainer, and a heck of a dancer, who brought laughter and joy to millions of viewers, myself included. Rest in peace, Rerun. One more thing. I remember reading a few years back about Fred's son, Fred Berry Jr., and his efforts to establish a career for himself as a performer. Fast forward to present day, and it looks like Fred Jr. has found his niche behind the lens as both a director as well as a photographer. He also maintains a website that serves as a tribute to his father. If you'd like to learn more about Fred, or Fred Jr., I'd recommend checking it out. I'll post a link to it in the description section of this video. Okay, I know I said one more thing already, but for those of you who say that they don't make anything good on TV anymore, you really should check out an episode of The Goldbergs from Season 4 titled Deadheads. If this picture seems slightly familiar to you, Well, it's because one of the main plot points of the episode was taken directly from a classic episode of What's Happening, where Rerun attempts to bootleg a Doobie Brothers concert with disastrous and hilarious results. Alright, now it's your turn. Please share your favorite Fred Berry memory in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video, please click on that little thumbs up icon and what the heck, maybe even consider subscribing to my channel. I talk about music, movies, and mostly television from decades gone by. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Now I'm really done, I promise. But thanks to all the fine people who've signed on as channel members. Your extra level of support is truly appreciated.